Oh,
Hi, my name's Sean Taylor. The guy spinning up there who almost had it timed right is Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek. It was pretty close. We'll figure it out next time. We will time your time per revolution. We'll figure it out. That's Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter, and we today are finally going to talk about the Legend of Korra Book 4 Change Chapter 12 Day of the Colossus about 2 months later than if we had just progressed normally. But, procrastination is one of our finer strengths. Chris, how are you doing, buddy?
I am doing fine. Doing great. Doing good, actually. I just have an interview tomorrow, which is just pays me with that. Anyway, not important. But
It
doing
sounds
doing
very
good.
important to me. I feel like you're underselling its importance.
It is my anxiety over it. I always get anxious. I like to say it gives me I feel like anxiety is for some reason a harsher word than being anxious about something, even though they're exact same
In a
thing.
literal way, it should be the exact same. But if I say it gives me anxiety, I feel like I'm belittling the like a disease for people who actually suffer from
Yes.
anxiety.
Yes. And I don't suffer from anxiety, but
Yeah.
I get very anxious over stuff.
I imagine somebody out there like respects your careful choice of wording. Well, hey, good luck. I'm sure it'll go great. Is it? Do you care if I ask on the air? Is it like promotion or what's the deal?
Yeah, it's a promotion. It'll come with the pay raise
Excellent.
and the title change with manager in the title, even though I wouldn't be super one. So
Be managing myself. Well, congratulations. Hopefully it goes well. We will. You know what? We should wrap up relatively on time tonight so that you can like sleep.
nah,
Little
it's okay.
things.
I'll go sleep at the same time. It's
At the same time as
okay.
literally always. I I don't know why. Not the jazz. I'm gonna start telling you about my week. I don't know why. I feel just like run down this week. I don't know what it is. I've slept on multiple occasions this week. I've slept like 9.5 hours on work nights. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. There's no reason for this kind of behavior. But I feel like this week I've literally slept and worked, but not because I've been working more. So I guess I've been good because I've been getting to sleep, which is a luxury. Um, I did manage to put out another YouTube video, so if you don't hate Switch games, go look at my other YouTube video. I'd appreciate that. If you do hate
Oh,
Switch games, I
I'm sorry. Keep going.
no. If you do hate Switch games, I'm still glad you're here, though. That's still cool. I
Yes,
interrupted you,
I'm still
didn't
here.
I?
No, I was interrupting you, Sean. I meant to say, sad news, somewhat. Well, no, not somewhat. It's very sad news. Sad for me. Sad for you also. So the
It's sad
creator
for
of
me. Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
absolutely.
Kazuki Takahashi, he passed away today, and Yu-Gi-Oh is huge in both. I won't say it's huge. It was huge in my life. So grew up. We talk about Yu-Gi-Oh all the time, or one
It's
thing.
a top five reference material with like John Mulaney and Batman, and like it's up there.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Uh,
our first bonding experiences outside of the workplace would have all been probably Yu-Gi-Oh related.
oh, without a doubt. Like I used to go. I used to go to your house like once a week, and we'll play Yu-Gi-Oh from like yeah, because I'll go over there after my daughter went to sleep. I'm not sure my son was even born, my oldest son at that time.
Not yet.
And, yeah, 'cause I would leave at like 8:30 and get to your house, and then we'll just play Yu-Gi-Oh for like probably until 12.
It feels like it. Yeah, I mean, roughly podcast
Yeah,
time, right? Like we essentially, at some point in our lives,
yeah,
we replaced
yeah. We just
Yu-Gi-Oh weekly with a podcast weekly. Filled that
yeah,
void.
probably when you moved to when you
Yeah, I
moved to
mean, it
KC.
basically was. I moved into Lawrence, and then we started like throwing around
Yeah,
the
there we go.
idea, and then
Yeah,
I didn't stay in Lawrence very long, so that was the next apartment that we started a podcast. So yeah, that tracks pretty well.
yeah.
Chris, if and everybody else, if you've never heard like the origins of Yu-Gi-Oh as a manga, go listen to. There's an episode of a guy on YouTube. It's called Mother's Basement. Is the channel? He's a pretty entertaining guy. I watch a lot of his
It's a
stuff.
great video. I watched it.
It's and well, great video. He does good work too. I just like listening to him. But the origins of like what Yu-Gi-Oh actually was as a comic is outrageous, and I love it. It's one of the
Yeah.
few where I'd like, you know what? I think I would enjoy going out and reading that manga in its original form. I've never done it, but I'm now it's got me thinking about doing it again. So yeah, go watch that video for
Yeah.
sure. Um,
Yeah, it's just crazy how much you get. Like I remember, like it has, like I tweeted out earlier, like I literally built a lot of good friendships off of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like when I was 14, 15, kids WB couldn't wait to watch Yu-Gi-Oh, collected the cards. It was a. I remember the first time I saw someone play Yu-Gi-Oh. It was my two white friends, and like I say that specifically because it's just an interesting dynamic of how
it
differently
is,
they
yeah,
play.
it's kind of
It's a, they're
amusing.
like, all right, I put my card here, put my card here, and I was into it. And then and then my black friend started playing, and like it's like how we play dominoes. It's like, boom, what? And it's just we get all a little more animated with it. It's like it's not like the all right, I place my card here and I end my turn. It's like what now? It's such a honestly, I grew up as someone as an oxymoron because like I look like oftentimes people think I was just like you know mean or thuggish to some people, but like I was just a huge geek. Like and it's just but no, Yu-Gi-Oh's great,
Even when you
and even
trash talk
now,
when you play Yu-Gi-Oh, I always interpret it as facetious. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're being legitimate, but you always do like that voice that you just did there. It's like your fake trash talk voice that you have, where you're like,
yeah.
"Boo, what now?" And maybe this whole time you actually meant it, and I was just like, "Ah, he's just joking around." The guy wasn't all that old either. I don't think. Right? What did it say?
He was
60?
he was 60 years old. Yeah,
Yeah, like he
60
had
years old.
multiple iterations of Yu-Gi-Oh left in his heart. I felt like no,
Yeah.
I haven't watched beyond the first iteration, but being basically addicted to the Yu-Gi-Oh Switch game, like I basically know what happened in every season thereafter,
Yeah.
which
I,
is the good part about the Switch game. It's like the TV show and fast forward. It's beautiful.
yeah. Yeah. No, and then also my daughter's into it too. My daughter's into a whole bunch of stuff. Her and my son right now are deep into Pokemon. And they had to buy my son some cards because he was mad he didn't have cards. My daughter had some, and he now wants his own EV plush toy. But anyway, this is not about Pokemon. It's about
It's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
shut up,
But
Pokemon.
she's into Yu-Gi-Oh also, and she has like a bunch of cards. She rewatched the whole show, which I never finished really watching the show. I was like, oh man, this show's actually like good. Like, sometimes you think about remembering something, you're like, oh, probably not because I remember it. And then sometimes, luckily, every now and then things are better than you remember it.
When we watch, we watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, we're kind of watching through a critical lens because it's that good of a show. Like you can't watch Yu-Gi-Oh through the same lens, but if you just put
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
in Lil Chris or Lil Sean's shoes and like try to like the sights and sounds that are being thrown at you, like I can absolutely see how I was like 100% glued to the TV for like 3 years because it's the first season, whatever. Cartoon seasons are weird, but there's like 60 episodes before it like changes to the next whatever thing. It's long,
Mm.
but um, I panicked the other day because I couldn't. Was that just yesterday or 2 days ago when this actually happened? Like Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday,
I think
like
today.
yesterday. Was it today?
That was today. I
Oh,
only first heard of it today.
okay. Well, today has been a very long day. I looked through my Yu-Gi-Oh cards and then I like panicked because there was like less of them than I remembered, and I was like, "Oh, where's the other deck box?" I was like, "Oh, I gave it to Chris's kids." I
Mm.
panicked for like a solid 5 minutes. Like, where'd it go? I gotta duel somebody in honor of his death. Um, well, hey, I also have lots of common Pokemon cards for your other child that can't play favorites. So whenever they're
Mm.
ready to pick through some common Pokemon cards, they won't
I
even
do
know
need
these.
some.
These will be
Their
like
birthdays are coming up. I they would like some Pokemon cards if you have any.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm always looking for excuses to dig through them.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I'll see you soon anyway.
Yeah. Hey, other news. You know what? Should we save that for next week? Right? Time that for next week.
Sure.
That'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
next week's news. Quote
Yeah. We'll
news.
lead
Quote.
into it. Savor it.
Savor it. um, with that being said, Chris, let's jump into Day of the Colossus, which is an episode that I watched about 2 months ago. Yes, I know it
I
happened. No, I don't remember what my ratings are. That'll be a surprise.
Alright, okay. Day of Colossus. So I unlike Sean, I prepare for these things. I
I think
just
that's
watched the
great that you
episodes and then I
prepare.
watched and then I watched them with commentary on because I wanted to get the whole. There was not that much lean from the commentary on this one. There's probably more from the next episode. But anyway, Bay Colossus. So Team Avatar narrowly escapes the Future Industries factory that Kuvira attacked. Um, I feel like not like this episode was very action heavy in the middle. And so like I feel like I might go through these things pretty quickly. Um, really, let's see, a couple fallout from it. Batar Jr. is like, how could she do this, mother? I'm sorry, mother. Pretty much stuff like that. Oh crap, this TV's loud. And
Yeah,
so
great. We're gonna get copyright
he's,
striked.
yeah, I know, right? For one little scene from The Flash. Um, the let's see. So, Team Avatar is kind of just recouping with it, and this episode is really about them trying to just figure out how they're going to get into them, how they're going to, first of all, take down the machine, and then figure out how they're going to actually get into the machine. Um, one second. I had to play the episode a while ago. Anyway. Varric in dang it, sorry. Lin Beifong gets Roshi out of jail so that she can have all the geniuses possible, and they can figure out how to take down the big giant mech suit. Now, I would have, if I had to change one thing in this episode, I would have had Korra like just say to Lynn, like, "Hey, can I talk to you real quick? I got an idea about something," and just end it like that.
Just to
And then later she'll,
imply any amount of like planning.
yeah, and then just because I want Korra to be responsible for Hiroshi's um, coming back, especially coming back into Asami's life, because one thing it will show a lot of growth on Korra's part that this was a villain in season one who wanted to take her down. Also, in the previous episode, Remembrances, her and Asami sort of had a fight about if she can trust her dad or not. And so it would have shown a whole lot of growth for Korra to be like, hey, we need your dad. Like, I trust him now. Well, I won't say trust him now, but yeah, sure, I trust him now. So I would have realized if it was Korra whose idea it was to break Hiroshi out. I say break. I mean, Lynn just went and just released her. She's the police chief. She can do those things, I guess. She has unilateral power to release
It's a different kind of
prisoners.
society. She can do whatever she
But
wants.
he's not even in jail. He's in prison. Jail is like at the police station. She has no jurisdiction over like prison. But
Makes me think of
um,
Varys. Allegedly.
the thing is, people oftentimes uh, have a misconception between jail and prison. Like they're not like the same
Yeah, like we.
same thing. But
I know a lot of people who have been to jail. I have to stop and think pretty hard to remember the people I know who've been to prison. Like,
I know two,
I think
at
I'm
least who've
two on
been
to
to
prison and
prison.
too many to count
Well,
on jail.
actually, I don't know that many people who's been to jail. I know more people who's been to
I mean, if you think
prison
about
than
like
no.
alcohol, like
But
one lighters, what do you call it?
yeah,
DUIs.
yeah,
That's all jail.
yeah.
But Lin Beifong wouldn't be breaking out like DUI people. Like she's going to prison to break out an evil genius. Slight difference.
He's probably in there for life. I mean,
I think that's
he
fair.
was like second in command of a
Uh,
terrorist
yeah.
organization. He's he's uh he's not looking at parole anytime soon.
No, not at all. So
In
this is a big
fact,
deal.
this was probably good for him. It's like, oh, I get to get out and breathe the air. Um, is this what freedom feels like? And
Oh
then,
wait, they're putting me to work to fight a giant mech monster. Well, maybe,
yeah.
maybe this ain't so good.
Um, Varric and Julie, they have their little moments. First of all, they're getting attacked by by mech suits and everything. And there comes up with ideas to do an EMP. He knocks them all out, which is cool, good Derek stuff. And then anyway, then they all start working. That team wise works on the hummingbird mech suits. And so Hiroshi figures out, it's like, oh, well, you can do a laser, or whatever laser. He said plasma laser to it,
Because when you put
which I
plasma
feel
in
like
front of anything, it works better.
true. Plasma cannon, plasma laser, Captain Fast. Oh, her name's Captain
It's like
Fast, but not Captain
quantum
Plasma.
in sciencey shows. The word
Yeah,
quantum, same thing.
yeah, exactly. Um, so then they figure that out, and then while Varric and Julie are putting their stuff together, Varric pops the question and finally asks her to marry her, and I do love this moment because I don't know, it's kind of just fun little moment, right?
It's almost
And
like in the weight of a depressing episode, like just they saved that one little positive Trito to throw us in this episode. Like in the wake of all, it could have happened some other time maybe, but I felt like they saved it to be the lightheartedness this episode needed a speck of.
yeah, also before that, um, Hiroshi and Asami kind of get over, their stuff, and there's a good moment there between those two. And so I feel like I feel like there's certain moments in TV shows where you're like, all right, well, one of you guys are about to bite the dust. Like, there's too many sentimental stuff. Someone's not gonna have a happy ending here.
we
But
built up too many good things too fast. We
eh,
went too fast, too strong.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not going to go well.
Um,
But it
there's
kind of
also
does.
oh, keep going. Yeah, there's
We're
also
gonna
a
finish.
C plot. There's also a C plot of Prince Wu and Pema getting people evacuated. Sure. I mean, it's fine. I could take it or leave it, to be honest.
I mean, I didn't even mention it in here, which is my fault, not the show's fault. But I didn't really remember it that much, so
Yeah, yeah.
that
That's
doesn't mean it's bad. It just
it's not bad.
sees a
It's
good
and
word
it's
for it.
they try to balance the levity with it. So other than that,
Which
it's
about as useful
what
as Prince Wu's character has been to add a little. Yeah, levity is a nice word.
yeah, yeah, and he's not annoying. So that's he started off being annoying, right? To me, because that wasn't levity. It was just kind of annoying comedy,
Yeah,
and you're supposed to kind of laugh at him. But now he's providing some good levity, I guess. I don't know.
from
I didn't really need it, I guess. I
childish
also,
annoying to adult pleasant.
yeah, I feel like I'm doing this episode somewhat disservice because I am comparing it to Day of Black Sun, not Day of Black Sun, Sozin's Comet, and like Sozin's Comet has no levity
No, that was
in it
good too.
almost like
Uh,
the A C B D plot. Man, that actually has a lot of plots. Um,
my problem with this one isn't so much that as much as I just want it to be tied to the next episode. And again, I know that's a me problem, but it's not that it's hard to separate them. I know where one stops and the other starts, but in my head, it's just one big sequence instead of two episodes.
yeah, I would have. And also, when I was comparing it to Sozin's Comet, is that I probably would have put these two together, potentially even the one before this together,
Yeah,
just as like one episode. Probably title it Battle for Republic City. I don't know, something
yeah.
like that. And
You
then,
could slap a subtitle under all three, right? Just like
well, then the
underneath the credit
subtitles will just
titles.
yeah, subtitle would be the episode title. So Battle for Republic City,
Yeah,
colon
part
Day
one,
of
part two, part
Colossus.
three. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that would make that's exactly how I watch them anyway.
yeah, yeah. Not that it would have made a big difference, I
No,
guess, but
I just have a hard time separating it. Like I would never just watch this episode and not just finish.
yeah, I do think though. I think it separates itself in a decent manner because it really is like this is the episode you guys got to figure out how to stop this thing. Like that is the gist of the episode. And by the end of it, it ends with that conclusion, right? And that's why I like TV where the episodes are a decent length and not really, really long. Like I feel like certain TV shows recently, like Moon Knight, I feel like a lot of them, the separate episodes aren't telling a story in of itself, but it's just one big, huge part of a long. It just feels like a very long movie. But there's a difference between,
Like overly serial in a way. Like it doesn't stand by itself at all.
yeah, like episodes are supposed to tell their own little story in the grander, but still in the grander schemes of the whole entire story. I feel like a lot of episodes in recent shows, it just feels long. And so when it's like, all right, here's an episode that's 40 minutes long, 50 an hour long, and it really has no conclude, no setup, no middle, no conclusion to it. It just feels really long. Like I just feel like I'm just so that's a lot of my issues with some of the recent shows
Yeah.
recently.
Heather and I are watching Stranger Things the full way through. I watched like season one way back when. I was like, oh, that's fine, and then kind of forgot about it. We're watching
Yeah.
it the whole way through, and there's always like there's some episodes I feel like do a great job of like that was a great episode. It still contributed to the story, but it felt like hey, I started eating and then I finished this episode and then I was ready to like shut it off and it was done. It was great. And then there's other episodes that just yeah feel like it was like a unfinished book basically on its own. Like, almost
Yeah.
unsatisfying to not binge, which maybe is kind of the point, I suppose. Trying to keep you
Yeah.
in front of the TV the whole time. Well, that being said,
But anyway,
we both love it. For the record, if anybody's curious.
I like the most recent
Oh,
season of Stranger Things.
we are halfway through season three, I think.
Yeah. What was I say? Oh, so story wise, that's Miller Wise story. It's essentially it when it comes to the middle. Other than that, it's just all action-packed fighting, and there is some absolute beautiful fighting and animation. Like I'm just in awe oftentimes of this show. Like this kids cartoons for television, especially Western cartoons, never strive for this. And I really don't think I've seen any show, only Avatar and Legend of Korra, when it comes to Western animation, has strived to have this type of animation and scale. Like I really like Justice League, the animated series, amazing television show, but I don't get this sense of scale from it. Um, Young Justice, great show. I don't get a sense of scale. What other great cartoon is there? Um,
None of my other
I don't,
favorite cartoons like fall into this
I don't,
category or close.
yeah, I don't think the Dragon Prince gets this close either.
Not yet, like maybe,
And
but
yeah, who
certainly
knows?
not
Yeah.
yet.
Also, it's been a while since I watched the Dragon Prince, so I might
Dragon
be.
Prince, I would say it it feels like even at the end of seasons, it's how do I want to say this politely because I really do like it. It always makes you feel like the next thing that's gonna happen is the biggest thing. Like everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas this, like what we're watching right here, granted it's the last season of the show, like the last episode is the last season, but like no, this feels very final in a good way,
yeah,
in a satisfying way.
yeah. Some of my favorite moments. There's a great moment where like Janora and Tenzin are flying, and then Kuvira blasts her spirit cannon at them, and they don't get hit directly, but just it's so powerful that them just being by it knocks them out, and they're kind of falling to their death. Janora, no, Ikki catches Janora, and she does this like tuck roll knee maneuver, and then Milo has to like catch his dad and bend him up before they hit the floor, hit the ground. Another great moment. Korra, there's a scene where Korra's like throwing huge freaking boulders at it at the thing from like a block away because she like hides from it and then airbends herself around like in a tactful way so she can get into maybe a blind spot. She throws these things and then she like fire bends up and throws them And there's one scene where she ducks. Kavira's aimed spirit gun at her. Korra ducks, and a spirit cannon just flattens the whole entire city uh, skyline. Like it legit, like just cuts as if someone just went and just took a knife and just cut the animation screen in half. Beautiful animation. It's such a beautiful shot, and there's explosions in the background. So great.
One of those times where I need you to be here describing things because I probably wouldn't notice or appreciate it if you didn't point it out. But yes, stellar, absolutely, and I'm glad you detailed it.
Um, and then we move into they finally get the hummingbirds up and ready. Korra, without the Avatar state, bends this whole freaking pool of water up at all the way, which is probably about 25 stories high, ices the mech suit. Like people, that's probably her greatest feat water wise, and I've never seen anyone I think do a greater like strength of water bending. I'm not talking about like blood bending and stuff like that, but just the strength and power of water bending, and it was without the Avatar state.
Trying to think of
Uh
comparable examples, and nothing comes to mind outside of. I think when I read the Kyoshi novels, especially the first one, I have a tendency to build up some of Kyoshi's feats in my imagination, but
oh
it's a little
oh
apples to
that one
oranges,
time,
you know. And that's not water,
yeah, it's hard
obviously.
to say. Well, there's that one time where Kyoshi, so that was earth bending. She bent because she needed earth. She
From like the
reached
ocean
down, yeah,
floor.
from like yeah, from the ocean floor and brought up earth. Freaking crazy.
And in my mind,
Um,
it's like a landmass, like not an island, but like a like a solid big, more than a column, I guess. But there
yeah.
again, apples to oranges. That's my imagination versus what we have on screen. So yeah, I don't think I have a tangible argument for a better feat of sort of pure bending.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, um, well, there was a time where Aang, but with the help of Princess Yue as the moon spirit, she pushed those waves. But I don't know how like hard that is. But also, it's Princess Yue. She's the moon spirit. She pushes and pulls the waves. That's her job. She wakes up in the morning. She's like, "All right, I got to push and pull some waves."
The
Cool.
assist
And
to Iwe.
then, there you go. Um, There's a meme of Aang talking to Katara as a painted lady, but he doesn't know she's a painted lady. I mean, she doesn't know it's Katara. He's like, "Oh, you're a spirit. You're really pretty for a spirit. Like, I don't get to meet a lot of spirits, but the ones I do aren't that pretty." And it shows
Which is
Princess
kind of
Yue
a
right,
douchey thing to say for the record,
yeah,
Aang.
but it shows Princess Yue like right underneath it, "F you, Aang," because like he's met her at that point as herself and also as a spirit in episode one, yeah,
Maybe
of
spirits have
season three.
advanced beyond the need for physical attraction. Aang, jerk.
Uh,
He maybe in
um,
my head he knew it was Katara. He's like, time to drop some pickup charm.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a better explanation for such
Uh,
behavior.
and then same way. So the hummingbirds fly in. Varric can't really get to it, and because Kuvira is like swatting away, and eventually they get, I think, hit by a spirit cannon, and but they uses the parachute out, and so that's story tool used to be like, hey, there's a parachute out. Like they introduced it right there. So that way, when we get to Asami inside and her dad is doing it, and Kuvira, Korra does freeze the ice hand, but Korra does freeze the hand with the ice, but the hand is like coming down, right? And they're on the thigh, and Kuvira's trying to swat them, and she's like, "Dad, we gotta go. Dad, we gotta go." And he's just like, "Just one more minute." And like he'll say he'll get it, and then he's like, "I love you, Asami." And then he pushes her parachute thingy out, and then boom, he gets swatted. Absolute, just great, great moment there, and really just it was a really great opportunity to see Hiroshi go through this character arc. Like this is completely different character from season one. Like season one, he fought his daughter in the last episode, and she had to like take him out regretfully. And this time, he saves her, and they work together as a family to take out this giant mech suit.
That's good family, good old fashioned family bonding right there.
Yeah, and he's trying to protect Republic City, the city he tried to take over previously.
Well, it's not worth taking over if it's in shambles. You know, he's gotta jump in now
Yeah,
and
that's true.
replot later. No, I'm sure he's converted.
And then they get in, uh, and I do like the direction, love it because you get the sense of that like, all right, this sacrifice can't be in vain. Like for some reason, that's the sense I get. They don't say that, but they're like, all right, we're in. Like it took all of that for them to just get in to have a chance at defeating that big old Colossus thing. It doesn't have a name. Its official name should be the Colossus.
I mean, since it's in the title, I'm gonna say that's like its quote unquote official name, but they never once give it a name in the episode, do they?
No, it just says Kuvira's giant mech suit. Pretty much, I think that's
Which
what
is
essentially I say.
very bland from a marketing perspective. Kavira, you could really do better for your image with a more exciting name like the
Yeah.
Colossus. Chris, let's do some ratings. I'm
All
I'm
right.
really scared to
Rating.
get to my ratings, to be honest. Heaven knows what's there.
Interesting. IO Visual gave it a 10, but like there's just so much beautiful animation. And I will bring this up again. Jeremy Zuckerman's score is absolute master. I think he's on like his scoring in these last two episodes. This sounds sacrilegious to say, and maybe because I've just been watching much Star Wars lately, but it's John Williams esque. It's not as memorable John Williams esque. John Williams is like, I mean, he's
He's
he's the goat
pervasive,
of
really.
yeah, yeah. Like he is like the greatest composer of ever. Like I'm not even a huge John Williams fan, but when we were at Comic Con and we saw that poster, I was like, man, that's a great poster. Like,
He's
'cause it was
synonymous with movie composition to a degree
yeah,
that no one else is ever likely
yeah.
to
For those
achieve.
who don't know, when we were at Comic Con, we came across this booth, this artist who does hand pencil drawings, and he hand pencil drew this like probably 3 feet by 5 feet. John Williams, and he had like all his characters were in the orchestra. Jaws was coming up out of him. There was like the Millennium Falcon up in the sky. Absolute beautiful piece. And then you're like, oh man, he is like just a like you all know he's a legend, but it was even just it's just a great picture, just saying it more.
The
But anyway,
picture
Jeremy
did a
Zuckerman,
good job
great.
of like
Keep
putting
going.
it all like to put it all in one screen, like force you to see it
Yes,
all at once, and you're like, holy crap!
yeah, yeah. But I think Jeremy Zuckerman he just did some amazing work on this. So audiovisual gets a 10. Story, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And so this is the part where I'm just like, where I'm comparing it to the Avatar finale, is that there were certain episodes in the Avatar finale that wasn't like great story wise, but when you look at the whole thing, it's a great, amazing story. And so if these last three episodes were one, I'll probably give them all as a whole unit a 10. Now here, there's not that much work done with most of our main characters. There's really mostly character work done with Asami and her father, and also Varric and Julie. And I think both those things were done quite beautifully. Where I mentioned that it's a great character arc for Hiroshi to go on, and Asami, you really get that sense of sacrifice, that sense of forgiveness and redemption. So just a lot of great stuff there. With Varric, it's just really great to see how far Varric has come as well. So interesting. Those are two previous villains from book one and book two. It's hard to call Varric a villain, but he's more like a eccentric, trouble, mischief maker.
He is a there's got to be a different word for it, right? It's like we've got heroes and anti-heroes. What's like an anti-villain? What's the parallel for that? There's probably a word for that. Not a villain, but
Uh,
a there's a word for it. If not, we'll come
not
up with
not.
it later. He's a Varric. It's not a villain. He's a
He's,
Varric.
so when it comes to story, give it a 9. Memorable, gave it a 10. Just it's the animation is the most memorable thing for me in this one, and again the couple of the character arcs and stuff. Um, but yeah, pretty much the animation is beautiful. It's stunning, amazing work. So that brings us up to a 9.5 out of 10. Let's see what Sean has.
Let's see what we got here. Audiovisual 9. Not sure what I was thinking there. You know what? Okay, so when I put these together, I keep finding it, as always, and this, historically, like at every finale of every season, like it's really hard to get to the penultimate episode and then not compare it to the final episode. So I'm probably just being
Yeah,
way too harsh, and that's not a good score. But that's what it is. Story, I would hang with the 9 on story, just because one thing this episode made me feel is it feels very choppy and rushed. There's so much going on. You don't get any time to dwell on anything, really. It I I pretty substantially remember feeling as we watched through this episode, like there's no dwelling on any one moment as long as I would like, and there's a whole lot that goes on in here. So I would stick with that as a story. What did I put for? Oh, 9s across the board. There again, I'm gonna chalk that one up too. It's really hard to watch this episode and not think about it or compare it relative to the next episode, which is probably an unfair practice. But hey, 9's what's there. I will say, yeah, just that lone critique of there's so much happening. This episode could have used just more time, which ones couldn't. I would say that's a compliment in its own weird backhanded way. Brings us to a 9, which overall leads to a 9.3. And that's the day of the Colossus. Chris, any final thoughts?
Um, no, no, I think that's it.
No. Come back next week. We commit to, provided that no big exciting news happens in the next 7 days, or that
No, we'll still do it.
we're
We'll just
gonna
get a
we're gonna
bonus
record it
episode.
next, like right immediately. Now we're gonna record it. So unless we have a KD gets traded special sometime in the middle of this week, we be the weirdest special we ever had. We will do
Breaking Avatar news. Kevin Durant, the Jersey Nets, gets traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
The only team willing to accept the drama. No, we are gonna record the next episode right away. So Caitlin, if you're out there, it's time. And well, hey, I don't have any final thoughts either, so come back next week. My name's Sean. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. And thanks for watching. What is it, episode 12? Right? Did I say that? Episode 12, Day of the Colossus. It's been Avatar: The Last Podcasters. Contact details and stuff in the descriptions. And we will talk to you next time.
I haven't even checked my audio.
Yeah, you definitely weren't muted there for sure when you did the little very accurate noise. I don't even know what to call that noise. Whatever that noise is.